interesting. I learned this just recently. So Berlin Code of Conduct. Who knows what this is? Nobody? Well, actually, I made some notes because I want to be prepared. Berlin Code of Conduct. Exercise consideration, respect in speech and actions. Collaboration is better than conflict. No conflict here. No demeaning, discriminatory, hate speech. We want this to be a safe place. And if you know Piotr, you know everybody on the team, everybody that comes here, we're inclusive, yeah? So, I mean, we all have our own, sometimes stuff that goes through our head. We do different things, you know? But here, this is where you act normal. Good, I was wondering if IT people could laugh. That's good, that's good. I needed to think, you're not so bad, don't worry. So this is an inclusive place. I think that's the most important thing. It's a place to support novice people in JavaScript and IT, as also professional people, and make a community for everybody involved. Unlimited access and advice. We can't skip over me. That was an accident. Guys, I'm nervous because it's my first time emceeing any event, but yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. Thank you, Piotr. Thank you. And now for the real people that made this show work, because I just showed up. The amazing team, and this is kind of why I'm doing it. The guy, he usually wears a hat. You've seen him before, Piotr Gentara. He's hiding right now. I think he's going through a phase where he doesn't want to be so popular anymore. He's trying to focus on his work and making it count. He's right here. Sasha, this is an incredible woman. You don't want to make her angry. I made that mistake recently, and I was told by Piotr, he called me, she's not my assistant anymore, she's my COO. So don't cross Sasha, she won't be too happy. Really, she makes the entire ship run, so she's the one that's doing all the hard stuff, right? So round of applause for Sasha. Let's do that, guys. Sasha, are you here? Where are you? Is that okay? Do you forgive me now? Yeah, it's better? Okay, great. Thank God. And Maciek Makniewski, he does all the social media. Very interesting, I'll point out. Very hardworking guy. We need more support in social media. Volunteers. So if anybody, you know someone that's good in social media or wants to do social media, just saying. And the rest of our amazing volunteers. I technically should be here too, Piotr. I'm not getting paid for this, yeah? Like I said, I want to help out, and all these other guys here doing this incredible work to help. Jakub, Jacek, Martina Skup, Ilyan Tsakayev. I hope I'm saying this correct. I'm so sorry. How do you say that correctly? Here, why don't you say it?
Ilyan Tsakayev.
Can't swear here, sorry. But I get it, I get it. Krzysiek Chojniacki, saw you recently. Davudbek, Yasu, oh. I dare you guys to come up here and do this on the spot, seriously, it's not easy. Davudbek Yasuf Zoda. That's giving me a lot of thoughts, just saying that name sounds kind of, it's good. Mehdi Akbari, I know Mehdi, very good guy, he was in my country house. Agnieszka, how do you say your last name? Rudnicka, also my country house. Amazing photography. Mehdi, you're doing the technical here. Teldosies.pl. Piotr, you did X-Fang there, you did your team building thing, so thank you. If you guys ever want to rent a country house, I'm just going to shout out, because I'm doing this for free. You know, Teldosies.pl. You're doing my website, yeah? Amazing work. Is it kind of done now? Great. Now everybody knows why I'm doing this. Everything's clear. Everything makes sense. That's good. We want you, we need you too. Yeah? We're all friends. We're helping out each other. That's how we're building a community. That's the whole point. And that's why I'm here. I think that's why people wanted me to be here too. I'm kind of joking. I'm not just here because he's helping me. I love this guy and I love the people that I meet here. And I'm learning a lot. So, it's the truth. So if you want to be a volunteer, scan this code. Yeah? And if you want to do a talk, well, you can't take my job, no. But if anybody wants to talk, there it is. Our sponsors, guys, I know you're all here because you just want to meet people and talk and eat pizza and, okay, maybe do some serious stuff, but guys, we have to thank these guys first and foremost because they're the ones that make the ship run. Our sponsors, Ramp Network, you met. Again, round of applause for Ramp Network. Come on. Campus AI, I met the owner, Aurelius. Genius guy, very smart. 40 million zloty in pre-seed capital. Amazing. Round of applause for Campus AI. Monday.com, big company, round of applause. I don't know enough about them personally. And CallStack. Who's here running the companies for Monday or CallStack? Anybody representing? You want to say something? No? You don't want to be on the spot, yeah? You don't want to be nervous like me. I kind of get it. I'm going to drink up this. You want to say something, Filters? No. CallStack, come on, say something about them.
CallStack is doing great mobile apps with React Native. They're also supporting us when we do the backend, for example.
Nice. Thank you.
They also organize React Universe.
Okay, React Universe, guys.
It's the biggest conference, so actually their knowledge is from the biggest, like when they are sharing their knowledge field, this is the top of the top knowledge because it's like coming from the React Universe conference, which is, by the way, co-organized by Meta, but CallStack is higher in React Native knowledge.
Amazing. Thank you for that. So guys, now we're going to have one last important slide, Ramp, because they're hosting. If you are looking for a job at Ramp, scan this code. If you know anybody that might be looking for a job, my notes are falling. If you know anybody that's looking for a job, there it is. And I have to point out, they're looking for TypeScript, React, Node.js, but you don't need to know blockchain. I guess you teach that. Partners. Amazing partners. KMag, round of applause for them. And JetBrains. Okay, so finally, I'm almost done speaking. Thank God. Guys, this is not easy. Really, this is not easy. We have some amazing speakers for you today. Some of them I already spoke to. Anton Morozov, feature slice design architectural methodology from front-end projects. I asked him, can you tell me a little bit? He's like, not really, I'm just getting prepared. So he's a very serious guy. He's going to tell you serious things. Jakub Wołyninko, secure access to EC2 for developers. I put the picture of the ChatGPT. I thought it was like an NFT. I know. It's not? It's just, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, I knew that. And then we have Mateusz Żeromski, Angular 18 and Primeanc 18. It's still Angular. He's going to be speaking. He came here with his son, so I guess we got another coder pretty soon. So that's pretty cool. Welcome, joining the community. Everybody's coming.
Junior.
Makes sense. To jest stresujące. Łatwiej na moich ludzi. Ale fajnie. A, to tam mam iść. A, dobra. No,
So, my name is Jakub. I'm looking for and today I'm talking about secure access to EC2 instance, and that's version for developers in general. I have more complex one, but it's probably too long for today's meeting, so we will have developers version. So
Ludziu,
let
o
me tell
właśnie
you a story
myślałem.
about
Dobra.
random AI company. So I had a friend
Ej,
who decided to run some kind of demo on big AI-based conference. They spin up very big GPU-based instance in AWS in default settings, so default install Docker as you can do it with guidance from internet, so root access anywhere. Add add Jupyter Notebook to that as well as root user and show everything to their users, visitors. It was great. Conference took place in Wednesday, I believe, something like that. And developer leave the instance running for the whole weekend. Some visitors of this conference just go to the website, check it, and realize that he has root access in the machine. And start mining cryptocurrency on it. So, in general, why we should care about that? Like, we can just remove this machine, right? It's just one click, and that's all. And probably it will not. I mean, your company probably will not fail doing that. The thing is that it's burning a lot of money because on that machine you can have keys to your repositories, to your, secrets management services, to everything important for you as a developer and for the company. And then accessing and securing all the things after this incident is very time consuming and consume a lot of resources and, let's say, user powers if you need to reload a lot of tokens. Someone can put some nasty code in your code base as well with your tokens. So we need to take care about that. So how to fix it and do it, let's say, fast, easy, and with taking care about money. Or how Amazon can help you. Of course, for the money, because it's as a service company. However, at the beginning, I need to introduce you to three-tier architecture. In general, in programming, you have MVC, right? Like this model view controller. In architecture, we have this three-tier layer architecture where you have presentation layer, application tier, and database tier. And it works like from presentation tier, you can access only application tier, and from application data tier. And there is no direct connection between presentation tier and data tier. And it's separated by the network. It's not logical separation, it's separated by the network and some network access rules in general. That's not the worst image. That's regular blueprint from AWS about high availability three-tier architecture setup. So, should I be very detailed about AWS things, or you know something? Just a little bit.
Not that much.
Okay.
Me too.
So, me too. So I will start from so-so. Okay, it's hard, I don't like it. I mean, for me it's not usual. So we have VPC at the, let's say, middle of this picture. VPC is something like virtual private cloud, your own virtual cloud in AWS. And then you have something like availability zones, which physically is dedicated data center in some location. AWS has some, I don't remember the length, but there is some distance between zones in the physical location. So it's not the same, data center. But from a logical point of view, it's like availability zone. Then you have the subnets. Subnets are part of your network. So you slice your network into smaller pieces and you have subnets, basically. And the difference between public subnet routing, okay, it's possibility to connect outside internet. From public subnet, you can access internet mostly freely. If you'd like to use private one, probably you can't. You just need to go through some NAT gateway or some different solution. So that's the difference here. So in the switcher architecture, we are putting load balancer, your front end in public subnet, then in private subnet you have your, like if we split it into columns, we have load balancers, then we have data, backends in general, and the third one we have databases. Okay, now it will be easier probably. In AWS we have 3 methods to access our instances in, let's say, easy way. We can use Bastion host, AWS System Manager, Session Manager is real name, and we have Instance Connect. For today, I will be talking about System Manager because it's the easiest to use and fastest way. Basically, Bastion host is regular, old-fashioned Bastion host. Any experience with that? Okay, so basically, you put one instance in network which is public, and the second one in private one, and you are accessing private one through the public one. It's like proxy kind of. In case of Instance Connect, it's like you can directly connect your private instance over AWS things in general, but there is no port forwarding. So we can access only SSH port or any this Windows one, RDP. And that's all. There is no forwarding. It's very problematic, but it's easy to set up and it's very cheap.
So is it like for point of sale? Suitable for point of sale? Okay.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, since last year, you are able to connect to private instance directly. Without an SSH key, you have all IAM, all things, but you can access only SSH port, which is some kind of, I mean, there was some kind of community repository to allow port forwarding, but AWS just closed it. That's worst image because I created it. In simply words, we have again VPC because it's about how SSM works. SSM Manager works based on agents, so you need to have installed an agent on your EC2 instance, and that's all. This instance communicates to System Manager as an AWS service in, let's say, 2 variants. You can use endpoints or you can use NAT gateways. Endpoints are direct connections to the network, where NAT gateway is regular NAT gateway, so translating NAT addresses to the internet, more or less, in fast word, because I have only 22 minutes, right? So I have short demo here. There is a link. If you would like to test it, probably you can. There is no hard-coded thing, so it's just quite simple, I would say. So that will be hard. Oh,
Okay.
fajnie.
A nie, masz to już.
To działa, ale on nie słyszał.
Dobra. Nie słyszał? A, dobra.
To you use now and to use this. No, okay. It's fine, I believe. I try one hand. So okay. So as it took a bit too long, I just need to get my credits again. Sorry for that.
Excuse me, what's Alacrity?
Alacrity is terminal.
Okay.
I mean terminal emulator. Okay. So yeah, it's just in general it's terminal. Inside the terminal I run it MUX. Left side, your left side is NVIM, right one is terminal.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will run the command maybe because it takes 3 minutes to
This is for the camera, this is for the room.
to spin up.
It's the pause again.
Okay, so in case of code, I'm using Proyen. I'm not very familiar with it. I just started with it, and I'm using AWS SDK with TypeScript support is probably the best possible way to interact with AWS Cloud now, in case of, let's say, fast growth. So I would say, but if you are a small one and would like to develop fast, probably the fastest way now.
Lepiej go nie dołączać, żeby był włączany do
From TF. Can you repeat the question, because but it's for serverless. Like you can't cover everything. With the okay. So the question was, there are faster alternatives like SST, STS, sorry. SST. So SST, that's true, but SST do not. You can't create all the resources with SST. It's like serverless, probably gateways, right? But Pulumi is paid after some kind of resources. This one is free. I mean free. So basically the structure is very similar. We have main, which is just spinning the app object, and then we have stacks in SDK. Everything we have as a stacks. So basically we will have short, let's say, go through the code. We have tags, always use tags, I mean, as a hint. Then we have VPC object, so basically we can create all the network with 10 lines of the code. We just need to specify the seeder. We need to specify how many AZs we need to have. Then we specify our network's type, so public and private one. Then we have SSM role, which is the only requirement for this SSM agent, beside the agent on the machine. So you need to create the role, attach the role to the instance, and create this attachment, because it's not the attach at the end. And you can't list it on GUI side, so it's like object inside the AWS, but there is no possibility to list it in general, which is quite tricky. And then we have instance. As an instance, we have a name. We need to specify the network or subnet where we would like to put our network, instance. Then we attach the role finally. Then we have monitoring, machine type, nothing very fancy, I would say. We have regular Ubuntu, ARM-based, so we can use ARM here as well in our European region. And we are using very small one because it's just faster to spin up. And CDK has some ability to, let's say, print everything what we would like to see in general. It's not only values from our run, but in general everything. So we can build all the connections, all the tasks, all the CLI things like you can see here, just in code with populating variables there. So as you can see, in 3 minutes we were able to spin up the instance. So basically, if you would like to connect to it, you can just go and
we could do all of this if we would be spending like 15 minutes on AWS by clicking that on the interface.
Probably. I mean, creating networks could be longer, because clicking network is quite patient. I mean, there is a lot of clicks in different places, and yeah.
And how do you, because you are just showing the source code, how do you rate, how would you rate from 1 to 5 the typings of this? Like, is it easy for you to create new file, or you are spending like quite a lot of time on writing such a Terraform like script?
The documentation is quite good, I would say.
But like auto-completion, are you able to do it without any seeking, full documentation? Okay, so it's like it is like this.
Yeah, it's hard to do it with one hand. Sorry.
Okay.
But basically,
there's typing.
Yeah, it's just typing, so it's quite good to use and quite fast. Not everything, but mostly it works. So as a wrapper here, I'm using Task, which is simpler alternative to make. Basically, that's why it's just Task Connect, but we can go with whole command. And as you can see, or maybe now we are inside the instance here, and we can ping, I don't know, boopapl short. Okay. So now I will try to spin up the Nginx on it and show it to you with port forwarding. It's hard to do it with microphone, so sorry for that. Nice. Okay. So like always some kind of issues with demos, but nevertheless we can go here and go with tunnel, and it's just open the tunnel to our instance. So we can go here and here, and that's our Nginx inside the machine. But that's not all the things, let's say. Okay. That central tower, control tower, that's some kind of, yeah. Okay. Next time I will just record it. Okay. Not technical one, it's just authentication thing. But for some reason, oh nice.
As with IT, something doesn't work exactly as we want all the time.
No, I mean it works as expected, so that's good. But it's not expected during the session, but nevertheless, we are here. Okay, so that's the instance which we created like some time ago, and you can connect with it just with GUI as well. So you click connect to instance session manager, and click connect, and you are open the session in the browser. And it works just inside the browser.
Does it work if you press arrow up? Does it?
Yeah, I mean there's no history probably. For some reason, let me check. Yeah, but now it is.
Okay,
So.
You know, I had to ask.
Don't worry. Okay, so let's back to the presentation. How much time do I have still? Like 2 minutes.
Out of time. Finish up, and then we can do some questions.
Okay, good. So in case of costs, we have two variants, as I said before. We can go with endpoints, or we can go with NAT gateway. NAT gateway is, let's say, more expensive but more flexible. We can talk about that later, because if we have 2 minutes, it's just a bit late. In case of not only AWS solutions, we have Azure Bastion host, which is managed Bastion host, run command, which is running command from Azure interface directly on the machine. We have OCI Bastion host. If you are not familiar with this logo, it's Oracle Cloud. So, then we have Google Cloud. Google Cloud have OS login, so let's say management of SSH identity over GCP IAM, and identity over proxy, so similar solution to Instance Connect. In summary, Sometimes we still need to use SSH, and the good thing is that we can delegate it to the provider. Unfortunately, it's not free. In most cases, we need to pay for that, some kind of money, so we need to think about that so far.
Actually, I'm going to say something. We have a book. So anybody that asks the smartest question, he gets to decide if you get this book. Budowanie zespołu Multi-Screw Mastera.
So I want to ask a question, but I want to be out of the contest. Because
It's his decision at the end of
yeah,
the day,
so
because he's the speaker.
if somebody has question, then I will ask later.
I have my own question as well, so
So you have like a free book. Just ask a question because I also have a question.
go on then.
Okay, so
Anton?
contest is somebody will. Okay, you want to ask probably.
I still don't really understand what would be the problem. I still don't really understand what would be the problem with directly connecting via SSH, yet and using the same Bastion approach.
Okay, so if you're using Bastion approach, you need to maintain the machine, and it also costs some kind of money. You need to take care about this machine. It's like $5 per month, $6 per month, plus some kind of maintenance work.
And this way, you eliminated the second, no.
Especially maintaining thing.
Okay, yeah.
And you can directly access to instance, but there is a lot of, let's say, things or articles why do not do that. Like you have botnets, I had the screen some times ago with all the attempts to connect to instance if it's public. It's like you can receive a lot of requests from different bots around the world. So there are practices to limit it, use some kind of solution to limit access to your endpoint and block the IPs based on the traffic. But in general, you can get a lot of flooding traffic on your endpoint. It's publicly available. So it's like that. Also, a lot of services are outdated. People are using, user root with password admin or root. So it's like, if you go to the showdown, probably you will find a lot of servers open to the world. That's the thing here.
So I also have a. So you have. This was. I'm really happy that I could see your setup. Usually on YouTube, for example, if you want to learn AWS, then you see clicking through the web interface. And this was really interesting. So you started with hacking into or getting access to your customers or your AWS network, and you have provided a solution which this configuration file, which sets infrastructure or sub-infrastructure from scratch. My question is, did I get it correctly?
I need to correct. I create whole the environment with this code. It's like, whole, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, beside the API from AWS.
Yes, and what would you recommend for people who could, by watching your presentation, could realize that, okay, oh hell, my infrastructure is cryptocurrency mining vulnerable, and is there any way for them to create or export their current infrastructure setup, excluding manually executed commands via SSH, but just to map whatever you have on your AWS account to such a configuration file in like JavaScript?
Not directly. I mean, there is some way, like.
So they would have to contact you.
No, not really. AWS provides something like CloudFormation, which is basically their native way to solve things. It's like Terraform, but in JSON, more or less. It's painful to use it. But you can export your GUI clicking into the CloudFormation, and then you can transform CloudFormation into CDK. But it's like.
But you need to learn something else,
Yeah, probably you need to do a lot of steps between and,
Okay.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Thank you. I was curious. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe 1 minute, so maybe one question.
One question.
Hi, I have a question because you started with a case where you described that there was someone who exposed this Jupyter notebook, I think, and how does it? Don't understand how it compares because in this case, entire instance is private.
It is, yes.
And in the other case, the notebook was public, right?
Yes, it was.
And if we need to make this something public, don't we need to make entire instance public?
Not really. we can, if you are using AWS, you can specify something like regular load balancer and public only particular endpoint. We don't need to care about, TLS certificates, all the things. You can use API gateway for some use cases and also expose our instance to the public without direct exposing it, because that's the dangerous things. But in general,
How do you make that noise?
that's not me.
I think that's me. I'm the DJ already. I turned this off by accident. So guys, that's all the time we have for now. The pizza actually is early, so the main reason everybody's here.
No, more questions, more questions.
Very good.
I have one question as well, if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead.
We can go with break. I can just show it to people.
Oh,
He wants to say something.
More AWS.
You're the boss. Go ahead.
Okay, so in general, I thought that, could it be even cheaper and easier to set up? Like, how I do it personally. So in general, there is provider in Germany called Hetzner. Maybe you know it. It's like very cheap, very stable. For 4 CPUs, 8 gigs, you need to pay like €6 per month, and that's max. I mean, there is no like in AWS. If you exceed some kind of limit, you need to pay hundreds bucks because of limit. That's all. I mean, you pay $6.
It's like Cyberfox.
Yeah, it's exactly, but it's cheaper and more stable. So if you if you are interested, what you can set up on that kind of instance is like that's screen from my home lab. I have 21 Docker containers plus Nextcloud there, and everything runs on this VPS, and it works. So there is no issue with that. So if we have the instance and we would like to secure it easier and cheaper, we have 2 possibilities to solve almost all issues. Like we can go with zero-tier VPN in general. So the smash things. Like we can install zero-tier or Tailscape. For personal use cases, it's free, both cases. And how it works, we basically install the agent on our instance, another agent, but still like that, like regular software. Then on our Mac side, let's say we are adding plugin, connect to instance, that's all. And now we can directly connect to our instance without even exposing it to public internet. It's like, VPN magic.
How much?
Like, but it's free and cheap, and it works like that.
I'm gonna have to cut off.
Sure.
I have to cut off. We're like 5 minutes past the 5 minutes end mark.
Could be.
So sorry, so sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everybody thank Jakub. We take a break for pizza. We have 30 minutes. You guys socialize. Don't forget that's also a good reason everyone's here. Mingle, get to know each other if you don't yet. Meet some of the volunteers, meet the people here as well.
Nice.
Don't be scared, ask questions, talk, have fun, eat.
Sure. Got it. Would you like to have sure, but yeah.
Like, the thing about mobile Xterm is that it optimizes your work a little, and it makes it easier and faster to connect between your servers. Is there any alternative MacBook like that, or do you also operate through just terminal? of segments, which are technical pieces. But let's go for better understanding. Let's go with every piece. So shared layer is your most reusable code pieces you could have in your code. These are UI tokens, let's say. So buttons, input fields, text areas, icons. It also has some shared API calls, which you can use, let's say, API calls to your analytics service. It would also have some utility functions, etc. So you get the idea. Entities layer will provide you with the global state of your application. Let's imagine we've got e-commerce project. In that case, you would want to track a state of your user, state of your shopping cart. I don't know. Let's stay in that. Features is these are the actions that your application can do. So on the same example of e-commerce, the feature would have slices like buy something, or like the product, or add to the shopping cart. And next piece, widgets. These are highly important blocks of your application on page. So these might be like header, footer, product card, body. And then you kind of group these pieces together in your higher level layer pages, creating a real pages that you want to do. And yeah, that's it. The highest level here is app. You would want to use that for configuration things, I guess. I would call it like that. So you would put a browser there, which will navigate you from page to page. You would put some wrappers like global state manager wrapper. And you see how the import goes. You can only import things on your current layer that lie below that. This eliminates the problem that I mentioned with the circular dependencies. So when you've got like two blocks and they both import something from each other, which is really bad if you think about it. It's nicely resolved in JavaScript, so you don't have to care that too much. But anyways, that's kind of similar to chicken and egg problem. So you wouldn't know where to start operating. So to clarify this fully, I've got an example visually. I made some layers of your application and put some slices on it. So it all makes sense when we add labels to them. So you see widgets, they are the most important blocks. So the header, the body, and the footer. You see features, which I just mentioned, and everything that I talked about before. And if we draw the connections between them, we will see a nice acyclic graph, meaning that it won't have any loops in it. So this structure is what we call a low coupling structure. So meaning that it's kind of flexible, and if you remove something from it, you wouldn't have to refactor much. And on top of that, nevertheless, let me show you how each of these slices are constructed inside. So each slice will have some segments in it. So these are 3 that I just included. And these are technical things related only to a particular slice that you have. And it's not really important how you draw the connections between them, because they form this high cohesion that we want to get. So this is the module that we were aiming for, and it's really tight. In the best scenario, if you just remove your application and leave only this slice, you can put it in another application and it would just work, which is nice. And on that, we don't really want to export everything from that slice. We would really just want to, usually we would really just want to export its UI component. So let's say it's a like button, yeah, which sends some API call to the backend to write something to your database, and it has some helper functions to help it with something. So we would use that in your UI. Yeah, doesn't matter what you're writing with React, Vue, any component-based language, and you just export this particular thing that you want to export. So with that, we aim for what we were aiming for: a high cohesion, a low coupling, and a nice hierarchy on this. This project is also has a nice documentation that will provide you with more and clearer information than what I just said. You are the creator of your project, kind of. So these are the base rules that I wanted to explain. You can construct some. Really, no one cares, and you can find yourself adopting this methodology for other frameworks like Next, because Next has this relation on folders somehow. So if you've got any question, I can answer that, because there is an adaptation of that methodology for Next. So yeah, as far as you keep these base pieces together, you're good to go, I think. So thanks for listening. And if you've got any question, you can reach out to me. You can scan this QR. I included some useful links for you to read more about this methodology. And you can find myself there as well. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Anton. Now we have some question session. Again, more books. So
Okay.
you decide whoever's question is the most intellectually stimulating.
Nice. How much time do I have?
90 minutes. Very good.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
It was 30 last time. I had to cut off.
We have a
many
question right
things.
here. First question.
Oh yeah, please. Does anyone have
Yeah,
a
right.
mic?
That's me.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, yeah,
I
please.
have a question. So would you recommend something to visualize the dependency graph? For example, like
Yes.
on the technical side?
I do. Really good question. I liked it. We've got a library, and by we, I mean people. It called that.
Dependency Walker.
No, I use DevCrease. It nicely works with TypeScript, with JavaScript, and it's really highly configurable. You can do many stuff, and I would love to share my drawings using this library. So you can reach out. You can come to me. I'll just show you the library. It's really nice. And by the way, the thing that drawing dependency graph of your code base is really nice. Some people do that. It helps to understand your code better. So and live with that. Many people even include include that in their CI, meaning that when you push your code, it will draw the graph. And if you abandon the rules that I was talking about the hierarchy, it will punish you for that. It won't accept your PR. So, nice thing to do. Please.
Hi, thank you. Do you have any recommendation to migration from the first solution you showed to this one?
They got a migration guide. It's really comprehensive. You can use that. I think I won't cover that right now. It's not that fast, but yeah, they're totally good to go.
If you're doing like React Native, you can use Nextcom and also have this direct emails architecture. Yeah, similar to Next. So it's very, how to say, cross just to use and cross.
So I'm not sure about.
The Next has changed going.
Yeah.
The Next has changed the way they implement the directory based and
Yeah.
to like migrate. I remember like 2 versions ago.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I'll try to answer the next related question first. So
It forces you basically, yes.
yeah, I know what you mean. So
But still you can make errors.
with this structure, you've got an app folder reserved for Next.js framework, and but you can still follow these,
Yeah.
right? You don't. No one will. It would be nice. And on app, they just adopted it this way. Do you know what is logical groups in Next? These are like.
Auto-routing.
Yeah.
So group-based router.
Exactly. Exactly. So they've got a thing in that particular folder to logically group your pages inside. And if you do that, if you include that to your project, this will save your life using this structure that I explained.
Where do you see the best place for contexts?
Contexts, meaning, well, I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of them, but I don't really use them. But I guess you would use a context on a page level or a widget level. You can even put it on app, but then why won't you use global state manager for that? Yeah, there's no reason. Sorry? That's a different topic. that's we can fight on that.
So I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
You said interesting thing that app directory is for Next.js.
Yes.
So would you opt in for making pages, widgets, features, entities, and shared framework agnostic?
Well, initially, this methodology came for shallow projects. So created with, say, Create React App or Vite. And these builders, they do not reserve app folder for anything. So you can use it for your own purposes. And it is initially designed for that. But as I said, you've got some adaptations. They would be somehow different from what I just explained, maybe on the higher levels. You can use it with Next. You can use it with. Actually, I don't really know any other framework that will mess you up using this methodology other than. I forgot about React Native. I forgot to tell you that I know practically nothing about it. So I'm not really sure. You can check their page as well. I think I saw something related to that, so you're free to go.
So I think that means all questions are done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anton. Guys, give
Thank
it
you, everyone. Yeah, I'm giving that book to the guy with the nice shirt who just asked about the dependency graph. I really liked it. Yeah. You're welcome.
So guys, the next speaker. Can I get the slides up? That's it. Good job, Anton, again. So he's using his own laptop. I was talking to Maciej for a second, and I wanted to ask him how I can introduce him. He needs business. He needs business. I asked if he's doing like artwork. He says no. I'm doing something that hasn't changed in years. It's very serious. So, Mateusz Jaromski, Angular 18 and Primeanc 18. It's still Angular. He's just going to get set up here before we get going. Guys, relax.
Yeah, you can start.
All right.
Yeah,
I think that's just for the online people. You still got to use the microphone.
no, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
No, you can just like it. Okay.
So, how, can you hear me? Yeah, great. So, fun fact, I have family, I have kids, he is one of them. And after that I'm coding at work, at home, at night, every time, all the time. So, nothing else to do. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah. So, let's see what I have. So during one night I started to work on Angular Starter. It's like a bootstrap to present a possibility what we can do with Angular 18 and PyMNG 19, 18. So yeah, so I built a small app. You can see Angular Starter, and it has some typical UI features like dark mode, light mode, the color schema we can change, and it has some different features that I will present. Yeah, so this is open code on my GitHub. So I have no social media, you will not contact with me, sorry. Yeah, here I have my plan. So the overview is done. So this is a simple app with some code from tutorials, etc. But the case, the core of this presentation is to talk about what we have in Angular 18 in very combined time. So you don't have to spend few hours like me after work at night to know it. So yeah, so Angular done. Build process speed. So so this is a typical laptop of my daughter. It's not mine. So let's start, and you can see that building this app takes about 2-3 seconds, which is quite nice. And when we change something, yeah, we have half of the second on this typical 10 years old laptop to play Minecraft. And what is nice that if you have a bigger app and you use this new builder from Angular 18, it takes the same time of compiling. It will not increase with your application, with your components. It will be still the same 1 second. So this is yeah, a big change when you work on a huge app. Yeah, so this is how it works. Nothing else to say about it. Another topic, PyMNG and dark mode and color change. So PyMNG, do you know what is PyMNG? It's some library view with a lot of components that you can use. There's there's a lot of them and it's free, so it's quite nice. And they introduced totally new way to initialize this prime-ng. And here in this Angular starter, there is no classes like for dark set a different color, for white different color. It works itself, just switching and how it works. So here in core module, probably dark mode switcher is just service that initializes dark mode. And I think in loader, or I don't remember so much, in layout, yeah, layout config. So here you can see how we are initializing the prime-ng, and that's it. And everything else is doing itself. Also, now it works with Tailwind without any hacking way. So if you go to site CSS, so this is everything what we need to combine Tailwind classes and prime-ng, and it works without any issue. So previously, if you have some experience, you know that some classes can crash or something, and you don't know what you are doing because you need to find that this is a prime flex or this is Tailwind. Now it works amazing, no issue with that.
What are layers?
I have no idea, but it works. Yeah.
But for priority, assigning priority of like the rules, so to avoid this conflicts of CSS specificity.
Okay.
Yeah. Solving issues.
Okay.
Yeah. Layers solving issues. Yeah. Yeah. So quite nice. You don't need any new effort for dark mode. It works easy. App initializing. So let's go to app config, and this is what we need to do to initialize this app. As you can see, we have providers, and we have some message service, loader service, state service, and blah blah blah, something that we need to add, and some dark mode switch service, and that's it. We don't need to initialize here some components, modules, etc. It's done. The main config in app config. Yeah, bootstrap. Yeah. So here we are bootstrapping our application. So we have app component like a main component and app config. So app component is empty. There's nothing. And now we need this first root. So we have routers. So we have about.
Increase fonts, increase.
Yeah, you can come closer.
Oh, you can enter presentation mode. Okay.
Yeah. So just like that, we don't need app component and some parent child relation. It just works. So finally, they solve issue that they created many years ago. So this is like a clue. So this is still ongoing. They are solving problems that they did before. And here, this is the interesting part, that you have this starter part, like here starter, and some pages here. So here we can implement routes, like lazy loading. So this is quite nice. And it routes. We have, another routes. Like, we have some parent component, because it contains layout and this logic is enough to play with this sidebar, this background. Yeah, so it's enough. Nothing else you need. So, and of course we we have this lazy loading. So when you go to this app, of course, you have this loading chunks. And when you start this up, so yeah, this is a production build. You can see that it's quite fast. We have less than 1 megabyte. Yeah, a lot of chunks. A lot of them from memory, disable cache. Yeah. So it's quite nice. When you go, you can see every.
Try frog into 3G.
What?
Frog into 3G.
Okay. Yeah, later. Yeah. So yeah, so you can see it works like previously, and they, well, I think one of the this is the solution, the problem solving of the modules and the standalone components that we can do it right now like that. So yeah, you can see the code. Routing, done. Modules, there's no modules. You don't need to create modules, just components as modules. Lazy loading, done. And just, yeah, very simple stuff, if else for. Yeah, so this is what you can do in Angular. You don't need new HTML elements to create if, for, else, empty, and some switch, etc. And also some typical for, even, all these first, last, count, etc. And it's here, and it's based on signals. So if you want to experience the new Angular, you can just take this code and see how it works. Yeah, just like that. So yeah. Okay, and now this is the clue of this presentation, the defer. Who knows defer? Yeah. So this quite common stuff that sometimes you have a lot of calculation and your interface is delaying, is calculating, is freezing your computer because it's JavaScript. You have one core, you cannot do threading, and you have one line of calculation. So it's a problem in Angular. So they create an issue. So now they are solving it by defer. Let's go to my compilation. So this is the problem. When you go here, it's freezing. Yeah, and now we have this our component. So what is the code behind? We have some big component that create a lot of. As you can see, you have a while loop that we are incrementing number, but we finish after 2 seconds. So it's like typical displaying huge table or presenting some chart, etc., etc., etc. And probably your application not looks like that, mostly like that something is visible here and something else is hidden that is not visible right now. So you don't need to render it. But in current Angular way, I'm trying to scroll, but yeah, it's freezing. Oh, it's fun, it starts working. So this is a huge problem in Angular, maybe in different frameworks as well. So they found a solution for that, they implemented, and this is they call defer for that. So let's see how it works with defer. So let's start. Yeah, we have loading, then it loads. Let's check console. Yeah. Well, let's start again. We have start delay and delay, but we can see this content. This is the child component. And what about the next defer component? Now it's loading when it needed, and then it's delay. So you are using normally app, you go to defer, and some page that you have some calculation, and done. You can use this app with this loading, etc. Of course, still you have to do this calculation because this is what you have to do, but you have control of that. You can plan it, and you can run one after one the calculation. And the solution is crazy simple. This is this everything. So with no defer no component, you have this up defer big component and below the same. In defer component, you're just creating a defer, creating this component. And how it works? It's waiting when your calculation stops, and then it's running this condition, and then rendering this big component. During this time, you have a placeholder loading. But here, for this defer, you have a lot of arguments, like here, defer on viewport, when it's visible. Also, you have defer on hover, defer delay, on hover, delay, on viewport, delay, hover, etc. So it's quite nice, because you can delay some rendering diagram, or rendering table, or everything else, and just present a nice placeholder. So it's changed a lot. I am very excited. I don't know why other people in my company not. And they still want to use Angular 14 or 13. Maybe there's no so many big components to use this defer. But this is the killer of this Angular 18, and now we have Angular 19, and they implement some changes. They did it yesterday because they don't like me. I need to update this code again. So last step. Yeah, it's still Angular, so they build everything on top of everything else. So your app in Angular 9 will work the same, but you have a lot of new extra features. So this is nightmare for Angular developers because it's Angular still. But maybe thanks of that we still have work because job safety. Yeah, there's Angular, and you have somebody new, how it works. You know, you need to learn Angular 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, and then you can read the code. You cannot start with 18, sorry. A lot of code before was migrated. So yeah, this code you can take from my GitHub. It's Angular starter. Yeah, you can, there's some, yeah, it's open code. You can see I have, my social media is fully set up. The repositories is, yeah, I have one. Because, yeah, but in my, yeah, there's a lot of green, because I have nothing else to do, only coding, no life. So yeah, it was my intention to present you this defer function. That is, when you see documentation, you are not able to feel what is the benefit of that. Oh yeah, it's later. But my question was why? So why they did it? So yeah, this is the purpose that you can display earlier the message to your user. So that's me. Thanks.
Now we're going to do the questions.
Yeah.
5 minutes for questions. Who's first?
Thank you. But do you know under the hood this defer it's using notation observer or something else?
I have no idea. I don't have so much time.
This first big component loaded instantly, but the second one only when you see it.
Yeah, because it was load after rendering when you have idle state. When the browser do nothing, then you're loading the defer, the starting. So it's collecting like a queue. So it was at first, but it was after the content.
I think he's talking about the second.
The second one was viewport trigger.
Yeah, and the question was it via mutation observer? I think it could be.
Probably yes, because you can also apply this defer based on interaction, for example. Yes.
Yeah, some hover.
Unless you make a mouse interaction,
the component won't be loaded.
Yeah, you have observable in signal and
So this is
in ng model.
DOM observer, but
Probably.
like yeah. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
So I have also one question. So what happens if this new date calculation would fail? It would throw an exception, for example. Then what's being displayed? Make placeholder or it crashes?
I don't know. Let's try.
Because in React until React 18, it was crashing the whole app, and I think
Yeah. We have error, but because this is engineered, so
Angular is totally bulletproof.
it works like previously, but it looks like it's not breaking. I don't know, but it's in defer. So when you go with no defer, looks like something broke. Yeah, but you know, let's see the result with defer. You have this component, the parent component works. With no defer, oh, it broke. So defer helps.
So defer makes Angular apps bulletproof.
Yeah, they solve problem that they create previously.
You're such a pessimistic person. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, so now we'll check, because Angular started as your project.
Yeah.
Could we try to go to network tab and try to throttle the network to 3G, so it's super slow? Network, and yeah, there is 3G. And now refresh, yeah. Oh, it's really super. Now disable cache. So it is actually quite fast. It is. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, for Angular.
I think now we're done. Thank you.
Yeah. I am author of this book, so you can just take.
Oh, really? These are your books?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You don't see?
I didn't actually know. I'm a little bit nervous about this first time, so I didn't see everything.
Yeah, you see? It was me when I was talking to people.
Great.
A little bit more.
Nice. So who are you going to give this to? Who asked the best?
I had 2 questions, so it's easy. Yeah, so I can sign it or.
One for each of them.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, thank you again, guys. So we have actually a surprise. We have lightning talks, and we have one speaker right now, maybe 2, we'll see. But we have one speaker, as is regular here in WarsawJS. Maciej, come on up here. Sorry, Andre. Again, this is the news. We have Andre, back end at ramp. Guys, that's my mistake. Back end at ramp. He came here last minute. We just found out like 30 minutes ago. And he's here to put on a great show, give you guys, I don't even know what he's going to talk about, but it should be interesting. You're going to be interesting, yeah?
I hope so.
There you go. There you go, it's all on you now.
Thank you very much. To zwykłego nie ma. Do klika? Okay, so thank you for having me. My name is Andrzej, please, and I'd like you to see my TypeScript Lightning talk. And I want to start with saying that I tie my shoes with a stapler. A stapler. So you might think, why? What's going on? Well, I looked into the shoelace business and I decided this is not for me. So I really like the experience that I get by using the stapler. It's easy to tie my shoe with it, right? Although, yeah, there are some implications. So usually I need to have a knife with me at times because I need to pry the staples open to take off my shoes. And from time to time I need to bandage my ankle because the staples hurt my ankles. So, but I mean, other than that, this is a sound idea, isn't it? Or is it? Does this sound reasonable to you? Probably not. Well, does this sound reasonable to you? TypeScript path aliases, the staplers of our modern web development. You might be wondering, what is he talking about? What staples? I mean, I use path aliases in my project and it works for me. I only have to use some kind of a plugin that I need to download from NPM because the bundler doesn't understand the path aliases. Or if I use Node, then I have to use tsconfig paths and a separate configuration file where I have the paths to the compiled files, and then also I need to use it with Node somehow. But other than that, it's totally fine, right? And also when I'm doing tests, I need to have a separate module that I also have to import because otherwise Jest has no clue what the path alias is. That's also, yeah. Anyway, so what is the common thing between the stapler and tying your shoes with a stapler and using path aliases? Like the thing has a different purpose when it was created, because as you might already know, the staplers are typically used for stapling sheets of paper together. And now here's a question, so what are path aliases actually for? And the answer is, they were created to support AMD module systems with loaders such as WarsawJS. What? Yes, this is true. So here's a snippet of a code that could be CommonJS or AMD, and in fact this was supposed to be AMD. Because when we were, let's say back in 2012, we didn't have standardization of module systems. We didn't have ASM at that point because it was created in 2015, if I'm correct. I wasn't programming TypeScript back then. So you had competing type systems, module systems, and the idea was to support all of the standards because they wanted TypeScript to be ubiquitous, to be working with all the module systems. And in WarsawJS, the loader for AMD, let's call it API, there was this idea that if you require something with an absolute import like leftpad, my favorite third-party library, then where is it located? Like, where should you look for this thing? If it was CommonJS, then you would be looking for it in Node modules probably. But if it was AMD, then the answer is that in runtime you passed something like this to WarsawJS loader, and then you said, so all of my libraries are actually located in the folder JS and then in the folder lib. So all of the libraries like leftpad or jQuery are inside the lib folder. And additionally, if you had some exceptions to the rule, you could define additional paths that told WarsawJS that, oh, if something starts with an app / then look for a folder called js/app. So when the TypeScript devs saw that, they came up with a brilliant idea. Well, let's just copy this and put it in our configuration file, because how else would you tell TypeScript where to look for the types for these libraries, right? Typically, when you do CommonJS or ESM, this is not a thing you need to worry about because this is standardized it's usually node modules folder. But with AMD, you had to use this. So that's actually the reason for path aliases in TypeScript. It was to support AMD. Because I spent a lot of time drawing this, so please notice. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Like when you're writing TypeScript, the mental idea behind what you're doing is that you have a separate layer lens onto the JS code that is supposed to be understood by the host. That's what the TypeScript guys call it, the Node.js or the browser.
I don't want to interrupt you. You're out of time. But go on just a little bit more, maybe answer some questions, finish up.
Sure.
Because we have a few more speakers. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I know I messed up your name. Please don't hate me.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
It's gonna be angry.
Not yet.
It's gonna be angry.
Okay. So I would just say that by understanding the tools, you'll become a better developer, and that's the idea, not to become this dog, but to become the evil. I know precisely what I'm doing, dog. Thank you very much. My next speech will be about using hot glue for tortillas and relative import extensions, rewrite something. I don't know. Thank you.
Very good presentation. Thank you, everyone. You say thank you very much, like Elvis Presley. Great. So, guys, we have. So, guys, we have one more speaker, or maybe two. Two more speakers, and one gentleman that was introducing very politely at the very beginning, Gilchin Tara. CEO of Xtang, my very dear friend. And it's about time you say a few words. I know you're rearing to go. Again, as well, I have no idea what he's going to discuss.
Yeah.
But I don't even think, did you know what you were going to discuss before this?
Yes, I prepared whole day.
Oh wow, okay, great. So, we're just going to set up the microphones. Slides.
Yeah. Hello. I don't have the cable for the slides. I see. Okay. Okay. So, what is so annoying about the experience when we are, for example, using Facebook or Messenger or Instagram, and we click on the links that are embedded? The most annoying part for me is that always when I click a link, it opens in now it opens usually in an internal browser of the app, and you go somewhere to a page, and always you don't have the cookies. So you always have a display, a pop-up, hey, do you accept the cookies? And now you even have not only one option to say okay or say no, but you also have accept essential. So it's a lot of turmoil. And it's 11 years ago, I was on Vrug in Warsaw. It was a Warsaw Ruby developers group, where I heard a presentation that actually maybe there is a solution not to give any cookies, and then you don't have to display the pop-up, right? And I just wanted to tell you that today I implemented magazine Warsaw.pl without Google Analytics, and there is no cookie pop-up, and it's still legit because it doesn't give any cookies. I will show you. See here elements, and it's quite interesting that it's still possible to run where is it, application?
Yeah.
Application cookies. Holy yes. So no cookies.
And there is some local storage session.
But you don't need to tell them about so here there is even a Google map, and it still doesn't require cookies, so you can even include this, and you can have analytics actually, because the server can count, for example, how many requests there were or something, and still. And that's all I wanted to say. It's still possible. Thank you. Now I think Artur's turn.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have to say about that. Well done, Piotr.
So, we are in ramp.
Tak, no, ale to zaraz napiszę. So we are in ramp network, and this is related to cryptocurrencies. And I would like to ask you whether, do you know what to make a short bet mean? It's like...
Price go down.
Yes. And since I would like to put a short bet on your knowledge. And I will start by saying that one of the greatest Polish artists was, somebody knows? Oh yeah, okay. So this is, if I would bet that you wouldn't know who was the biggest Polish artist ever, I would lose.
Slovakia.
Could be, yeah, but people from Japan would know Słowacki. Yeah, so actually, but you know, here in the second row there was faster answer. Okay, now you know, I need to look for something. So I go to Wikipedia, because to be honest, I don't remember my GitHub login. Yeah, and Vue.js, somebody knows Vue.js? Yeah. Okay, so the founder of Vue.js is Ivan. So I will paste this here, and he should have GitHub. And some time ago, I realized that he has a really strange login. So I just tried. You know, I just incremented this by 2, and this is me. Okay, so we are here. By accident, by the way, I have exactly the same amount of repositories as Mateusz, because he also had 13. So interesting. Okay, we are getting to the point. Okay, so thanks to Piotr, who's the main host here, and actually, you know, Ramp is also hosting us here, so huge shout out to Ramp. You know, I would like to, now this is the moment of me betting on your knowledge. Okay, so this is, you know, I hope nobody will mind. Zloty. This is 200 zloty, by the way, borrowed from my father, because in the place where I'm living there is no ATM, and I was like, okay, WarsawJS, it's like, okay, not gambling, cryptocurrency, so, you know, so I have borrowed this 200 zloty from my father in order to today make a short bet on your knowledge. So actually, this is like a one-way ticket. This is one way for me to lose. And my bet is that, you know, I have started learning Free.js some time ago, so I'm not that much into cryptocurrencies, even if they are, you know, skying up to the rocket. No, rocket again to the sky. And the question is, you know, so what is this? This is a Free.js application, which is like, this is my playground for building 3D virtual galleries. Because thanks to Piotr also, I had this pleasure to be, we can call it forward deployed engineer in Polish National Gallery, which is called Zachęta. This is really interesting project. Like, all of the artworks which are in National Gallery are like digitalized, and I had pleasure to work. I know a little bit of JavaScript, and Piotr invited me to do some stuff for them, and then that's how I got into art. Okay, so this is my scene, and if by pressing 1 we can put such a artwork, and we can walk around the scene, and we can build, another picture. So they are different, but and we could do actually very interesting things. Like I'm sometimes even listening music to this, and I'm like placing. Yeah. Oh, you see it's crashed. Okay, it didn't. Okay. Interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, okay, like 30 seconds. Okay, so the question is, whoever is going to tell me what is the author of those artworks in 30 seconds is getting those 200 zł. Okay, I will be just waiting for 30 seconds for the right answer.
You create them.
I can zoom it for you. 10 seconds left.
There is no answer.
Anybody a genius here?
AI. ChatGPT. No.
Okay. Okay, the time is gone. So I wanted to see how it is. Okay, so this is a real author, and this is okay. So sorry for playing with this. I just wanted to show you actually that you can also short on different things, and actually you can also buy currencies too. So you can actually use round network to gain money on believing that something will happen, which is not necessarily I was really interested, because if there will be somebody who finished fine arts, then it will be interesting. And I was sure 90% that I can easily build that. So this couldn't be too much because I didn't want anyone to cheat. How could you cheat?
Just Google.
Yeah, and I thought that you were doing that. So then the first name is Henrik, and you can use Google image search to do that. So maybe we can do something else. Okay, so I will not. So generally, I just wanted to show you this. Also, I hope you don't regret that this wasn't that easy to win this knowledge, but actually, by making this bet, I made some. I hope I
Anybody has some questions for the
we understood, how, what is it in real to be shorted on. And when employees they don't give you a raise, they shorten you, not risking leaving the job. So maybe I will show you that this is my, I'm hardcore JavaScript developer. This is my activity. See here I have been making one commit every day for 3 months. Yeah. So the project is there. This is called Just-in-Time Gallery, which is created in real time. And this is it. Thank you very much. You can try it on your phone. I'm working on mobile button for it. Thank you very much.
Round of applause, guys. That was the last lightning talk. You guys are probably all tired, but just to finally wrap up, I'm gonna pull up some slides. Guys, we have a survey. You guys like everybody, you don't like someone, you don't like the MC, you can't fill it out. But anyone else, if you have any questions about any of the speakers, seriously, fill out the survey. We'd like to hear from you. If you have anything you want to say. And next meetup, I believe it's on December 11th, sorry, right there. we have acupuncture specialist, actually. Okay. I did actually Google it, and very interesting case study. Tomasz Kalinko, Joys and Sorrows of Designing a Language, and then obviously somebody else that we don't yet know who's going to be there. So if you guys want to buy your tickets for the next event, something happened. You can't buy your tickets for the next event. It's not possible.
You are discouraged to do that.
Apparently, yeah. Do you know why the cameras just died? Help me out. Help me out. But yeah, you can buy your tickets for the next event. They're gonna pull up in a second if anybody's interested. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, guys. First one here at Ramp Network. We want to take a picture with you, probably here somewhere in the back, if you guys are okay with that. Piotr, do you want to say anything else for this first at Ramp? No? Let's make a photo together. I said that, but yeah, we can do that again. All right, guys, awesome. Well, if you want to take one of the quick QR codes, scan it. Everyone's scanning, yeah? Everyone's scanning, they're buying their tickets. You want to see something interesting? 420 PLN. That's amazing. You can get a great discount on that.
It's a bargain.
Of course. Scan it, come to that event. It's going to be a big one in 2025.
And where's
all 12 meetups. Oh, this is for all 12 meetups. Okay, I didn't know that because I was looking at 420. Damn, that's a lot. Okay, that's pretty good for 12 meetups. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Nice. So, guys, yeah, I got no more slides. Let's do a picture together. Everybody, like, clap for all the speakers. Nice work. Thank you for being here. Overall, pretty fun. Thank you, guys. Let's do a picture back there.